I literally took the lead character of my screenplay. I found this goofy picture that just said, "This is her." And then I gave it to AI. They made this picture, which I think is really fun. Now you take that picture and put it in a van and you have a mess. One thing I have discovered this trip, because it's the first trip that I planned all for activities of touring waterfalls and touring giant rocks and e-biking, like the works, I really found that like, yeah, you can do those activities and it takes up a couple hours of the day. But then there's this whole chunk of day. I found I was bored. I started playing around in Vanscape, which is like an app you can get to design your van. And I designed a couple layouts. And like, I think the thing I have to offer, because of my design history, I was a Seventh Avenue designer for Nippon and Dior when I was right out of college for like 5 years until I didn't like it anymore. That's a whole other story. But so I have like mad design skills. So what fun would it be to like make a video where I'm designing the layout and maybe design a couple layouts and post them and get you guys to like say what you like and why you like it and like get people involved, and start like it's a real design project. Make up a client, design a concept space, visual expression that would, like an inspiration board of sorts, that would then link them to what I saw in my head, and put for me there the thing that's going to fire me up to keep going. And I tried that. I literally took the lead character of my novel I'm writing, because she lives in a van, and I took her exact scenario and I designed not the whole van, but the concept. I found this goofy picture that just said, "This is her." And then I gave it to AI. Now, AI is not good. I've learned. I tried it. It's not good at helping you design a van, because the design process is a lot of choices, and AI doesn't like to stick to it. It likes to invent stuff. But it did a brilliant job. I gave him a prompt that this is a picture. Take the concept, the elements, the feelings of this, and turn it into a living space. But it's not a beauty parlor. It's this girl's apartment. So they made this picture, which I think is really fun. Now you take that picture and put it in a van and you have a mess, because there's so much going on. So you have to take like the details of what works and hone it down so that you still have, like in my van video, if you watched it, you saw me talk about how shrinking proportions lets the eye think that this 60 square foot space is bigger because it's fitting what your eye and brain connect as being in a bigger space. So, I just found a big piece of hair from when I brushed my hair. I can't be losing hair. That would suck. Getting old sucks, I'm telling you. I'm making the best of it, and I fully intend to make the best of it. But there are details in it that I really, really don't like. Anyway, back to the subject at hand. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start by choosing a layout to work off of. And there's going to be a luxury layout where it has the shower and all the components and the full electrical system. And then the starter version where it's the exact same floor plan and boxes, so that you can add on to it, so that that thing that is called a shower is a closet and a place where you put your toilet and, you know, other storage. And someday, if you decide you want to shower, you have the space built in. So you have room for growth. Instead of having all the cabinetry, you have space for the cabinetry, and you fill it with these plastic boxes that are clear with black and that you can like store stuff in. And then slowly, bit by bit, like do the walls, do the floor, do the skeleton, and then just let yourself fill in later. Start with a tiny electrical system, but leave room for 4 batteries, or leave room for, whether you start it. I mean, if I started again, I'd use a 24-volt system because I think it's better. And nowadays, I hate to say it, but our summers are so much hotter than when I started my van. It's insane. It's impossible to live in a van when it's 94 degrees outside, because it's probably going to be 98 inside, if not more. I mean, I'm fairly well insulated, but you've got glass that you can't really insulate. You can cover it a little bit, but it gets really hot and it's really unpleasant. So you kind of need to plan for an air conditioner. I didn't. I have a Max fan. As soon as that Max fan dies, I'm getting an air conditioner. In the meantime, I have this AC hack, which I'm going to make a whole video for, that brings the air for like a quick cool down using the air conditioner in the van. And I bought this little air conditioner. It's 11 by 12 by 28. I cut a piece of countertop I had left over to match my counters. And I think I have soda. And it sits right there. And it has become so effective for me, not for an air conditioner because I haven't needed it, because the temperature around here has been perfect. I've had absolutely perfect weather, except for the very first day at Seneca Falls. It was hot. But I'm going to actually build, and I'll make a video of that build. I'm going to build a little storage unit. I'm inspired by this thing I saw on Amazon, where it has the hinge straight down the middle of the cabinet. And when you open it, it's 2 sets of 6-inch deep shelves with rails across so that the food doesn't fall out. And for a van, I would do just one side instead of a double opening one, because you don't have the space for double opening, but you would have the space for a single opening. I'm going to put mine on wheels, and if I'm traveling and I don't want to bring it with me, I can leave it in the garage. If I decide not to bring my second refrigerator, I can put it between the seats. It just gives you so much freedom. And that's kind of it. Even if it wasn't on wheels, it should be a piece of modular furniture, because it's one of those things that you can add on when it's so convenient to have a place I can put on my laptop, iPad, and camera gear type stuff on, and still have all the kitchen space open for making coffee or cooking dinner or just washing my hands without having to move something. Anyway, I'm going to, once we decide on a layout, I'm going to start designing it, because and I'm going to start with Lizzie's van, the one I started with. And it's a learning process for me as well, because I would love to take this picture of a wonderful living room with photos on the wall and a cool sofa with a throw with a cushion that's furry and a bed that almost matches. But when you put all that in a van, it's too disconnected. So you have to think of it like sheet music, and you have a melody, and then you add a bass line, and then you add maybe a cello, and you orchestrate it so that there's lots of dimensions and layers, but it all sings with the melody. So what is the melody when you're designing the interior surfaces of a van? For my van, it's black and white everywhere, and I pop it with the bedding. Anyway, I don't even have all the answers. It's something that I'm going to figure out as I go. I think it would be like, my design history is because I love designing. Anyway, I think that's all for now. Sammy says goodbye.